This is my steer tire that blew out 2 miles from the house. You can see it's not on the wheel. I had to drive it up on these boards here to get it up high enough to even get a jack under it. But the funny thing is, I just come back off a 500-mile round trip, and I was about 2 miles from the house, and I heard a loud pop, and it sounded like a 22. And I said, man, that sounded like a tire blew out. Didn't feel anything. I looked in the mirror, didn't see no recaps being thrown off or anything. I got this held up with 2 jacks there. I got a stubby jack and a tall jack. That way, if one of them fails, that the other one will hold it. Both 20-ton jacks. But anyway, I didn't see anything. When I pulled into my driveway, I heard air hissing out of my tire, and the steer tire here was about halfway flat at that point. I don't know how I could have got any luckier. Look at this tire here on the inside. You can see the hunk blowed out of it. Of all places, it waited till I got 2 miles from the house, and it didn't instantly go flat. It was just air spewing everywhere out of there through the cords. So I got really lucky on that deal. I've never seen a tire fail quite like that. But I got it jacked up really higher than it needs to be to get a new tire on. But I had to get it up this high in order to get this tire off, get the truck up high enough to get jacks under it. So I'm going to take this off. I don't have an air compressor here. I do have an impact wrench, but I don't have an air compressor to run it with. I just have a little bitty small compressor. But I have what they call a cheetah wrench. It's a torque multiplier, and I'll show that in operation. Alright, this is what they call the cheetah wrench. See that? It has got a 178 to 1 gear ratio, or 78 to 1 gear ratio, excuse me. And it looks like this right here. I guess 78 turns up here is 1 turn down there. There's a whole lot of turning to get lug nuts off this way. That's the way this has got to be done. So what you do is you put it up against the other lug nut like that right there. You got this handle here. I've used this thing a bunch. Trying to change tires and stuff at the house. Let's see, that's tightened up right there. We need to go this way. And it takes quite a while, but it does work. I mean, it'll take off any lug nut that I've seen. Just like that right there. Now it's got gears in here. You can't use an impact wrench on this or anything. It'll just break the gears. It's got that one loose. Where you run into problems is if you got one that's got rusty lug nuts and they're stiff to get all the way off, you'll be out here 2 hours turning on it. I try to keep these with anti-seize or lube or something from time to time so that they don't get rusty. Or if they get a lot of corrosion grit on them, they won't unscrew like that. As long as they're in good shape. This will take them right on off of there. I carry this with me, so if this happens on the side of the road, I ain't got to call a service truck, pay them $500 to come out, and wait on them for 3 hours. 3 hour time, I'll have my tire changed, probably halfway to where I'm going. Something I would like to get is a 3/4 inch Milwaukee impact wrench. They got one that's supposed to take these tires off. I think it's got a 9 amp hour battery. It's supposed to be a really good wrench, but I'd still carry this just in case it didn't. I know this will take it off. Just a little tiresome. Oh, and I also have this right here. It's a 1/2 inch to drill size extension. And if I wanted to, I could use a drill to get these lug nuts here off after I got them broke loose. Not that hard, just to unscrew them by hand though. In this particular one anyway. A little bit of a bind on it still, evidently. You see how I'm resting this ear up against the nut every time, not up against the threads? Keeping boogering it up. That'll make it very hard to put the nut back on there. there's a tool a bit closer up. Got a couple different size sockets. You got the square drive here for the ones that got the 2-piece lug nuts. Mine's all single. This is a balancer ring right here. It's got beads and stuff in here. I guess it slings around and helps balance this wheel assembly. This is a tire. Again, where it blow doesn't honk out. I don't know how in the world that blew out like that. Still had a little bit of air in it and allowed me to drive 2 more miles to my house, and just the whole way it happened. I mean, this happened Friday, or yeah, this happened on a Friday afternoon. The last load, you know, the week. I had already called Thursday and ordered some tires that'll be in Monday, because these tires are 4 years old and they're getting down in tread. You know, about time to get replaced. And so I already ordered them. Had planned on getting them changed this coming week, but this one blew out 2 miles from the house, and you know, didn't tear apart and tear half my front fender off of my truck or none of that. Just, you know, slowly went flat, made it onto my house. I'm gonna break them down here. I've got some rims in the back of my truck over here that's already broken down that I'm gonna just mount the new tires on, but I will go ahead and break this one down here just to show you know, how it's done. This is soapy water, basically. Some tire soap mixed with water. And pour some of that around the bead there to make it slick. Got 2 tire spoons here. That was a bit of a pain. Usually use a longer bar to do that with. These are my small bar.